I'm 32M, and I've been with my wife, 29F, for 4 years. I work in commercial real estate, and while I didn't grow up with much, I've built a comfortable life. My wife's family, though, they're the type that equates wealth with worth. Her dad, in particular, always looked down on me. No matter how well I did, it wasn't enough. But I love my wife, and she loved me. So I put up with the thinly veiled insults, the condescending smiles, and the not-so-subtle comments about how she could have done better. They tolerated me because they thought I was temporary. Spoiler, I wasn't. When we got engaged, things were fine on the surface. Her parents insisted on paying for parts of the wedding, mainly the venue and catering. I wasn't thrilled, but they framed it like a gift, and I figured, why not? They wanted to show off, brag about hosting the event at one of the most prestigious venues in town. Whatever. My wife and I covered the rest of the costs ourselves. Fast forward to 2 days before the wedding. I was at home, going over some final details when my wife walked in, pale and shaking. Her family had called her, blindsiding her with an announcement. We're canceling the wedding. Her dad's exact words. No discussion, no explanation, just a firm declaration that it was over. According to him, my wife deserved better than me, and they weren't going to let her ruin her life. They even bragged about pulling the plug like it was some power move. But that wasn't all. They had canceled the venue, called off the caterers, and withdrawn every financial contribution they'd made. They even demanded the gifts back. Anything they'd paid for was now theirs again. My wife was devastated. She tried reasoning with them, but they weren't interested. Her dad kept repeating that I was beneath her. And me? I didn't argue. I didn't yell or threaten. I just made one phone call. See, what they didn't know, because they never bothered to ask, was that the venue they'd been bragging about, the one they acted like they owned, yeah, it's mine. A couple of years ago, I invested in a series of commercial properties through a management company. The venue was part of that portfolio. I never mentioned it because I'm not the type to flash my investments around. But the moment they decided to cancel my wedding at my own venue, I knew exactly how this was going to play out. That night, I called the venue manager and explained the situation. The cancellation? Reversed. The vendors? Confirmed. I paid any outstanding fees and made sure everything was good to go. My wife was still reeling from her family's betrayal, but I promised her everything would be okay. Her family thought they'd won. They assumed they'd ruined everything, that we'd be crawling back, begging for forgiveness. They didn't realize the wedding was still happening. The day before the ceremony, her dad must have caught wind that something was off. He started blowing up her phone, demanding to know what was going on. She didn't respond. I didn't either. I wanted him to see for himself. The wedding day arrived, and it was perfect. My wife looked stunning, and despite everything, we were surrounded by people who genuinely cared about us. Her parents still showed up, of course. I guess they thought they'd be welcomed with open arms. Spoiler, they weren't. I made sure the venue manager was prepared. Right before the reception started, he calmly approached my father-in-law. Sir, just so you're aware, this venue isn't owned by your family. It's owned by one of our private investors. My father-in-law scoffed, thinking it was some sort of mistake, until the manager said my name, loud and clear. The man's face went white. No, that's not possible. It is, I chimed in, stepping beside him. You see, when you canceled our wedding, you weren't just throwing your weight around. You were canceling an event at a venue I own. The silence that followed? Beautiful. He tried sputtering out some nonsense about how I tricked them, how I should have said something. But that's the thing. I didn't owe him a single explanation. And the best part? Since he pulled out his contributions at the last minute, I was now legally free to exclude him from everything. The gifts he so proudly took back weren't even an issue. Most of those were items I had already covered under my name. He just assumed he held all the power. After a few humiliating moments, he stormed out. My mother-in-law trailed after him, too stunned to speak. The rest of the family awkwardly lingered, but we didn't care. The night went on. We danced, we laughed, and my wife smiled for the first time in days. A week later, I heard my father-in-law was trying to spread a story about how I stole the wedding back. No one bought it. The truth came out quickly, and his reputation took a massive hit. Turns out, people don't respect entitled behavior as much as he thought. My wife stood her ground, too. She told her parents how deeply they'd hurt her and made it clear she wouldn't tolerate their manipulative nonsense anymore. They tried guilt-tripping her, but she shut it down. As for me, I have no regrets. I didn't plan on playing the gotcha card, but when they crossed the line, I made sure they felt the consequences. Some people need to learn the hard way that entitlement doesn't get you far. And sometimes, the best revenge is just letting them watch you live your best life. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button or whatever. There's plenty more where that came from.